Hello everyone, my name is Adeola. I studied business administration in St. Gallen for 3 years, and I am now working on several startup projects, and I founded my own consulting business and got interested into the topic of entrepreneurship throughout my studies. And today I want to answer a question I got asked a lot, and it revolves around the issue of whether it's necessary to attend business school in order to become an entrepreneur. So, is it really necessary or inevitable to go to university in order to become one self's boss? In order to tackle this question, I first want to differentiate between different career paths that are relevant for this topic. So here on the left, we can see the most prestigious or most ambitious careers for people that hold a degree in business. So usually, if you have really good grades and you studied business administration, you enter either one of these careers. So you have investment banking, consulting, private equity, and venture capital, and then other related industries like in finance, like trading or asset management. So for these types of careers where you usually are in an employee-employer situation, you most likely are required to have a degree and some form of a degree. Business studies itself gives you a slight edge, but if you have good grades and can impress by other means, and you have a physics degree, you will still be able to get a job. On the other side, we have entrepreneurship. So here I differentiate between four types of businesses that you can run, and let me explain what I mean by that. So as someone who's self-employed, I categorize someone who's using their own time, their own skill to deliver a service. So you most likely are working on your own hours and are working alone as some sort of freelancer or even consultant. And here, if you want to be in the related field, so in something like business or finance or processes, operations management, marketing, something that's really related to the topics in your studies, it might make sense to get a degree. For everything else, so if you want to become a self-employed gardener, if you want to become like someone who does construction work, I would not recommend going attending business school. So the next type of business is actually, I call it a business, and for me it's like a firm, a venture that runs without you as the CEO. So if you're a self-employed gardener, if you leave, your business is actually dead. Um, I see a, I call a business actually a firm that runs without a CEO for like maybe some at some point your business will crash, but it should survive like several weeks, several months without you. Then next is sales. So if you just take something and sell it to someone, so if you just take something and sell it to somebody else without a complex manufacturing step or even step that is powered by your brain power. So if you just work as some kind of broker, you have a different kind of business in my eyes. And also here, just learn the skill. Don't attend business school. It's irrelevant. Lastly, we do have startups. So what do I mean by startups? Um, I see this as these type of businesses that need 3 months or more in order to build before you get revenue. These are your classic tech startups, the ventures or enterprises that need a lot of capital to create a very innovative product that is oftentimes just about to be developed. So for these four, the ones in black, consulting, finance as a self-employed entrepreneur, if you run a business that works, that runs without you, or if you want to found a startup, it might become relevant. If you do anything self-employed other than consulting or finance or something business related, don't attend business school. Same goes for sales. So let me go through the pro arguments, so the reasons why you should attend business school, the edges that you'll get, and as well as the advantages you have as an entrepreneur if you attend a business school. Um, First, you just learn the language, so all these technical terms or all these economic relations that you will see or hear of, you already know them and you can apply them. Next, you will learn to be very structured when doing research or analysis, and you train the skill of present stuff. So if it is ideas, investment cases, or even like just presentations of products, you will get good at that if you attend business school. Um, the next one is arguably the most important advantage you get from business school, and that's a valuable network. So most of the people you go to business school with will get or will have um, fast growing careers, and most of them will be influential people in the future in economics, but also in terms of politics or even other topics. So probably me myself went to school with some of future CEOs that everybody knows. Knowing them gives you the opportunity to learn from them, to learn stuff that is not taught in the subjects themselves, but are still relevant for your field, and also sometimes knowing these kind of people that have careers even inside of the these industries that I mentioned before. So if even if they're not entrepreneurs themselves, to know them can lead to business opportunities that are favorable to you. Next argument in favor of going to business school, next advantage you have, you know the basics of commercial law. In our case in Switzerland, if you attend um, the University of St. Gallen, you will learn the basics of Swiss commercial law. And this is an advantage when drafting contracts, for example. The next advantage is crucial but not as easy to understand. So I called it high salary safety net. What do I mean by that? If you attend business school, you are most likely to be eligible for a high paying job. So the alternative, if you break your business in this case, or if you fail as an entrepreneur, if you were good at uni, the alternative would be to break into these industries. And even if you break into industries that are not as prestigious or competitive, you are most likely still be able to get a very high paying job, or like a job that pays above average. So this gives you psychological safety or peace. Me, myself, for example, as I got a job that had nothing to do with being responsible for a whole business, a whole team, a whole value chain, um, left me the opportunity to think about my businesses with a much calmer head and have like this feeling of having a higher affordable loss concept that I will get into in another video. Next point, next advantage is credibility and reputation. So even myself, I build on the fact that I attended business school when going into consulting. So you show potential customers, investors, and other stakeholders of your business that you were able to pull through a 3 year um, program that is not easy for everyone to do. So this alone, the fact that you attended business school, is something you can build actual business value on. So a next advantage or skill I learned at business school is to be able to multitask, and that's basically inevitable if you run your own business. If you found your own venture, it's not like you will not be able to learn it somewhere else, but you will definitely be confronted um, by working on different projects or even subjects at school. So I got the skill of being able to handle multiple projects at once, actually from university. The last advantage you get when you attend business school, um, that can help your business grow, is actually understanding your advisors, consultants, tax advisors, and even investors. Most of these people will have some kind of business degree. If it's a full program or even just certificates, um, most of these people speak the same language. So it goes back to the terminology and also um, the language, the context that they think in, but it also refers to some commonalities. So, um, how does a pitch deck look like for an investor? I mean, if you don't um, study business, you will still get an answer to that question. But if you go to business school, you will be familiar with all of those interactions these people have with different businesses, and in this case, with your own business. Now, let's get into the no arguments, the disadvantages of being enlisted into a business school program instead of doing the to be in the mud of your business and just hustling through and go through the concept learning by doing. Um, the first disadvantage is actually that all the theories or most of the theories that you learn at business school aren't actually applicable to your startup or your small enterprise, but are designed to be relevant for big corporations and multinational players. So the knowledge you get is most of the times not even applicable. Next, for me, I saw that being able to see some concepts that I learned at business school back in my business and being able to like classify the issues through the frameworks that I learned distracted me oftentimes from the main task at hand. So most of small enterprises and startups have as main task product development, sales, marketing, or funding. And the subjects, the frameworks that you learned at business school, oftentimes does, don't align with these topics, but rather with like your bookkeeping. And to lose your mind in such topics just because you know them and you know how to address them is not valuable for your business. Next argument I thought of is that a lot of frameworks that you learn are actually irrelevant on not only the enterprise size level, but also on subject level. So advanced math or even some subjects in law are not just not applicable for the type of business that you are most likely to run, but are entirely irrelevant for your case. So they might often be interesting, and you may learn something for other aspects in your life, but regarding your business or your startup, your venture, most of the frameworks are irrelevant, and some of them actually are just common sense wrapped up in a fancy structure. These this actually leads me to the next point, and that's the opportunity cost of your time. So the thought process here is, in the time that you attend business school, can you learn more efficient skills or more useful skills in order to push your business than you get taught at business school? And the answer is definitely yes. So even though you might have um, other advantages, like we saw here, this one is the killer argument if you move in one of these three industries. If you think about it this way, all the relevant information that you are actually taught at business school, the language, the skill of structured research and analysis, and even frameworks that are actually useful for entrepreneurs, they can be learned in 1 year, even though they are taught throughout 3 years. And my argument here is, in the remaining 2 years that you have in comparison to the whole program, you are most likely to compensate the other like disadvantages you have against someone who studied business at a business school just through hard work. So with this argument, I actually come to my conclusion: it's not useful, not favorable, and not valuable, not efficient, and not effective to attend business school as an entrepreneur. You are more likely to be successful if you learn the skills that are actually relevant to your industry or to your skill set that you need for your business, and have the adjacent business knowledge transferred into your company by consultants, advisors, or team members, or you learn them by yourself through other channels. Just for completing my mind map, I do have three more arguments that I deem negative on the question whether to attend business school as an entrepreneur. And these are that your creativity is hindered. So all these more or less useful frameworks in your head, all of those structures that you learn on how it should be done on the businesses, you will lose the skill of thinking out of the box and finding other creative solutions that are not adhering the common sense of the academic business studies. Also, even if you study business administration, if you have a broad knowledge of the topic, there is no guarantee for you to be actually successful in your venture or startup afterwards. So, considering the opportunity costs, and the time you have to invest into a business degree and still not be able to have a guaranteed success with your business um, is for me a clear negative argument. Mm, Last but not least, what I expect from business schools in order to become more attractive for entrepreneurs, in what I would actually do is to implement more um, of the actual skills that are needed in our economy right now. And these are things like leadership, sales, negotiation, and um, similar skills that all of us know are important in order to grow a business, but are not taught in a structured way at business schools. So, this is my overview. To summarize it, I went through all the pro arguments of um, the business school way, where I think building a valuable network is the most important one and is the one that let me think that I don't regret going to business school because of the people that I met there. But looking at the other side, at the contra arguments, for me, it's a clear no to everyone that says, okay, I want to be my own boss someday. I want to fund a business. I go through a business study program. I wouldn't do it. Yes, thank you very much for listening and have a nice day. Goodbye.